What's up? This is All From a Phone, and guys, today I'm going to be talking about how to win races. I've seen a lot of videos online where some of the guys, they just got their car maybe, or they haven't had it for a while, don't really understand how to drive their car, and they see other cars that they think that are faster than their cars, and they're like, yeah, I'm not even going to try it because that car is faster than mine. So just to understand, this car is not the fastest car in the world. I know that. But it can beat a lot of cars that a lot of people don't think it can beat. Reason being is that this car doesn't weigh anything. It weighs 2,600 pounds, 2,670 to be exact. With 2,600 pounds, if you have a 200 horsepower to the wheel car, you could look it up, an ET calculator. Like, just go on, science it. If you do an ET calculator, you're gonna be in the 13-second quarter mile range. Why is that? It's called power to weight. A lot of these newer cars have a lot of horsepower, but most of it is because they weigh a ton. Actually, they weigh a couple tons. So I'm gonna give you an example. The Dodge Challenger and Charger, okay? An RT, that's a V8. If it's a 5.7 liter Dodge Challenger Charger V8, I can dust it in my car how it's set up right now. Dust it. That car comes with 375 horsepower, or 380, some crap like that. Why is that? Because the car weighs like 4,400 pounds. That's not enough horsepower to move that big ass lug around. So there's power to weight ratio, guys. You have to understand that. Like, don't look at a car and say, oh, I can't beat that car because it's got 300 horsepower. Yeah, how much does it weigh though? So yeah, understanding your car and understanding what it can do, it takes some time. You're gonna get to know your car with experience, but let me help you out here for a little bit. I'm in 60. Somebody comes up and says they want to run your car, and you're doing 60 miles an hour. You throw it into third, you're probably gonna lose that race. In a stock Corolla XRS, your lift doesn't come in for another 1,000 RPM. I'm at 52. My car, obviously, it's chipped or tuned, so it comes in earlier. But if you start here, you're gonna lose. Okay, guys? If you're running to 60 miles an hour and you have a stock ECU, you want to be here. Okay? This would be a good start for you, because you get to 60 quicker. The reason for that is that these cars, guys, are momentum cars. You have to continue the momentum of lift in order to win. If you don't keep up the momentum of lift, you're gonna lose. And what I mean by momentum of lift is when you have a stock ECU and you change gears, more than likely you're always gonna be falling out of lift and then having to reach the lift again. If you have a couple bolt-ons like an intake and exhaust, it'll help you get to lift faster. But again, you have to combat the stock ECU always dropping off of lift. You can stay in lift in a stock ECU going from third to fourth. It's probably the only gear that you can stay in lift in. And reason being is because you kind of in fourth gear or third gear, you kind of rev it out a lot. So the key to staying in lift is revving your car as much as possible. I know that sounds horrible for your car, but I'm talking race purposes only, okay, guys? and you have to get it so high into the rev in order for you to get into that lift. But it is what it is. Like I said, if you wanna win, you're gonna have to do that to your car. But obviously, having a flash DCU is gonna help that. So, if somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, I want to do a second gear roll at 30 miles an hour," you're gonna lose. There's no doubt about it that you're gonna lose that race. I don't care if you're racing a Caravan. I don't care if you're racing an Odyssey. If you don't know what those are minivans. You're gonna lose because this car doesn't have torque. It really doesn't. So your biggest weapon is horsepower, and the horsepower in this car is really high in the rev range. So if you're starting off and somebody says, "Hey, let's do a 40 roll in second," I was like, "Nah, how about let's do a 30 roll in first gear?" That is a better race for you. A 30 roll in first gear will get you to lift quicker. Second gear, a good race for that is like a 50 gear roll in second. A third gear roll, you're looking at like 70 in second and third. So I don't see anything going past that. Obviously, if you're doing 80 miles an hour on the highway and you have to downshift, that's a different story. So let's say you are driving down the highway and you're doing 80 miles an hour. You're gonna want to slow down a bit and then throw it into third. So like, let's say there's somebody next to you and they want to run, just slow your car down a little bit underneath 80, throw it into third, so that way when you let go of the clutch, you're already into lift. And once that race starts, you're going to be into your power band, just like they're going to have torque, and it'll be a more even race. I'm not saying you guys are going to win all these races. You're going to lose. Like I said, this is a Corolla. It's not like you're not driving twin turbo Supra, or you're not driving anything that's turbo that has a lot of torque. You're not driving a 600 horsepower car. This is, let's be real, it's 170 horsepower bone stock. So yeah. But to give yourself more of a chance, take my tips, guys. For guys that are driving cars with reflash DCUs, it's a little different now for you guys, because depending on the ECU flash that you get, if you have a Ronnie tune, your torque is pretty much going to be the same, but your lift is going to be coming in a little sooner. So I gotta go right, guy. Thank you. So it's just a little bit different. You gotta play with it. If you got a car, follow the same rule of thumb. Honestly, if you've got a tuned vehicle, if you follow the same rule of thumb, you shouldn't have any problems. But just know you're gonna win your races a lot easier. This is pretty much that simple. If you have an R9K tune, you're gonna tend to find out that you have more torque, or you have more mid-range power. So if you wanted to do a second gear roll from 30, you might win some races with some cars, because R9K tune lower end has a little more push, and you tend to get to 60 a lot quicker once your car is tuned and you have some bolt-ons done to it. Intake, header, exhaust, and a tune, you can run some cars, guys. I've ran 370Z. My tire light just came on. Look at that. I've ran 370Z and I've beat it. I've beat 350Zs. I've beat WRXs. I haven't had a chance to race an STI, but I'm pretty sure in the top end I could probably pull one. I'm talking about all these cars are bone stock, guys. I'm talking about hooked up ones. What else have I beat? I've raced some Challengers and beat them. So, you guys, I'm talking right now and I'm saying these things. Some of you guys are like, yeah, right. But drive how I'm driving, and I promise you, you'll do the same thing. You know, if you get a bone stock, let's say you have a bone stock 370 and you have intake header exhaust and like an R9K tune or something like that, you should be able to beat that bone stock 370Z from a roll. If you're doing it from a dead stop, you're probably not gonna win. That's another thing, guys. Don't ever try to race anybody from a dead stop with this car. If you're good at it, sure, try. But if you're not really that experienced on launching this car, just don't. Just don't. Always say from a roll, because like I said, this is a momentum car, and if you launch it and then miss second gear, you're gonna lose every single time. Every single time. Unless you're driving with somebody with the same type of stats and they miss gear at the same time. But this car, you need the momentum to win. So, like I said, stay into lift. Try to always race from a roll. And if you're racing from a dead stop, make sure your competition is even. Because the difference between a dead stop and a roll is the torque. I mean, it's just that simple. To be even competitive from a dead stop with this car, you have to rev the piss out of it. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I left out. There's nothing really that I left out. But anyways, guys, this car is a lot faster than people think. You know, I'm referring to a specific video that I saw, and it should have been a lot closer than it was. The Corolla got beat, but it should have been a lot closer than it was. Let's just put it that way. But anyways, I hope this video helps you out. And if it did, give me a thumbs up. If it didn't, don't thumbs down. And guys, always remember to subscribe. Peace out.